Hello everyone, it is 7 o'clock. Welcome. It's the first ever cook along. I feel like I've invited everyone to a party and I'm just waiting to make sure everyone's gonna actually show up. I have a glass of wine. This is actually real wine. I have begun drinking again. You guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. As you start tuning in, comment. I wanna see who's here. I wanna see who's joining. I'm slightly terrified because I read an article that said when you go live from a public figure page, which is what my Cook with Steph video is, that you only have 30 minutes. I don't know if that's still true or not. So I'm gonna really try to honor this 30-minute time window. All right, you guys, so we're gonna get started with the sweet potato crusted egg bake. The first thing we're gonna do is cut up a sweet potato to make the crust. So you need your potato. I have two enormous potatoes. This is what happens when you go to like the neighborhood grocery stores in New York City. I'm gonna just see how far I can get with one, and I'll use the other one later in the week. And then you need your 9.5 by 13 casserole dish. Mine broke, but I have two of these little ones, so I'm gonna use those instead. If you wanna go ahead and spray those or coat them with a little bit of oil. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop up the sweet potato crust and get it in the oven so we can start the filling, okay? So, I see that my mother is joined. Hi, Mom. Hoping other people are joining too, and Facebook just hasn't shown me yet. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get the sweet potato going. So, this is how I like to do it. I like to cut, I think you guys can see me, yep. I like to cut the ends off that I won't need, and I'm just gonna toss those into, I have a little trash bowl over here in the sink. And then I'm gonna make a slice on the bottom of the sweet potato. It doesn't have to be it just depends on the size of potato you have. But what it does is it just keeps it steady from rolling, right? So I have it so it won't slide around, which is important so you don't chop your fingers off. So from here, you guys, I'm literally just gonna slice super thin. I'll show you a couple of these here. If you have a mandolin, you could totally use that. I have not gotten into one of those yet. So let me just show you, right? Looking like this. Super thin, doesn't need to be perfect. Hello, other people who are joining. So go ahead and you guys slice up your sweet potato. If you have smaller ones, that's fine. Just do whatever you can to get them to thinner pieces. I'll show you as I go here. You can get creative. I might need both. I don't know. We'll see. So again, let's see what else we got going on here. People are still logging in. I already have my oven preheating to about 375. So if you haven't done that yet, go ahead and turn on your oven. And all right, so now it's getting like a little smaller and a little wobblier. So I just want to be safe because I have these amazing new knives and I don't want to slice my finger off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the other end. See how I have this thing here? I'm just going to slice it a little bit more. And then I can actually use this piece in the crust so it's a little bit steadier. And then I'm going to keep going here. Going a little bit more slowly as the potato gets smaller because we need to save our fingers. Okay, so for now I'm just going to hold off on using the rest of this because it's getting a little small. I might need it. Hello, other people who are joining. So we just started slicing our sweet potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and start lining my dish. So here we go. You want to kind of layer them on top of the other because they will curl up as they bake. And since I have mentioned my 9 by 13 pan, it busted actually. I'm using two small 8 by 8s, so I have my one pan already done. So I had a massive sweet potato, so it's only going to take me one. I usually just go ahead and line the bottom of the dish. That being said, if you have leftovers, which I will have a few left over, you can totally line the edges. Cool. Hi, James. And whoever is joining me right now, can you guys all just make sure you can hear me? Will somebody just comment that they can hear me? Because now I'm paranoid that maybe you can't hear me. Somebody say, yes, I can hear you in one of those comments. All right. So I have both of mine lined, and I have a few extra. So on this one, I'll just go ahead and line the edges. You don't always have to do this, but since I have the extra, why not? Chris Wilberding says I can hear you. James says I can hear you. You can hear me. Great. Do we grease the pan? Yes, Annika. When we started, I had just sprayed my pan. You can rub it with whatever oil you want to. You guys, Annika is a childhood friend of mine. We reconnected over Facebook. I think she lives in Columbus now. I haven't actually stalked you enough on Facebook yet to figure out exactly where you live, Annika. But I have one of my childhood friends cooking with me in my kitchen. This is so amazing. Okay, so I've got this one lined, and then this one I had some extra, so I just went ahead and did the edges. Can you guys see that? Great. I'm going to go ahead and put these in my oven. So I had 2 huge sweet potatoes. I'm going to save this one for later in the week, and here we go. Put it in the oven. So I have it at about 375, anywhere between 375 and 400 based on what you know about your oven, you guys. It can get really hot in my oven and in my kitchen, which is why in the middle of January I'm cooking in a tank top. I have some comments. How hot does the oven need to be? That's so funny. People are asking questions. So 375 to 400. It looks like people are... I want to know if I should slow down or if you guys are good to go. I'm going to keep going unless anybody says, hold on. So we have the sweet potatoes lined on the dish. Next, we're going to brown our turkey and do the filling. So a couple things about this, you guys. Great. The turkey. So I use a lean ground turkey. I bought this at Trader Joe's. And then I have this pork sausage seasoning. I posted this on the Facebook page so that you can see where I got it, and it's a link to, what's it called? Amazon. I know another company called Penske's sells it. So this is what I'm going to use, and I understand if you maybe couldn't find it. Another great substitution is to just buy like a chicken sausage. I know there's tons of chicken sausages out there now, or turkey sausages. And instead of doing what I'm going to do right now, you would just chop up those sausages. They're already actually cooked and brown them in the pan. So you could totally improvise. And if you're a vegetarian, you don't need to do any meat. Do we need to grease the pan for the potatoes? Hey, Jessica. Yes, I sprayed them before I layered those potatoes in. You could use whatever spray or oil you have. So I'm going to take the ground turkey. And I'll just like show you the pan. So I'm putting this right in my big pan. And I'm going to turn it on a medium heat here and let that start browning. So what I'm going to do is while that browns up a little bit, I'll add this. I'll show you guys. While that's starting to cook, I'm going to chop an onion. I have a secret cooking counter, you guys, with supplies underneath it. I feel so official. Another bowl, if you will. Just like Rachel Ray. Okay, so now I'm going to chop the onion. So it is 7:08. We've got the potatoes in. Now we're just working on the filling, which is going to be ground turkey, onions, and mushrooms. And then we'll wilt in some spinach. So I'm going to cut this onion in half first. And nothing needs to be perfect, right? If you're like, I'm not very good at chopping, it does not matter. So I'm literally just going to chop this guy up long ways. And then slow it down when it gets small again. I'm going to pivot it here. Take that off the knife. And chop it up a little bit this way. I love to add cooked onion to lots of things, so I'm going to put the whole stinking onion in there. All right, so that's half the onion. Let me cut up the other half. So in the pan behind me, we've got the ground turkey going. And some of you are actually cooking along with me, which I'm so excited. I know my mom and my sister are doing this in Pittsburgh, well, North Pittsburgh. I think my friend Jessica near Providence is doing it as well. I can tell based on some of the questions that are being asked. So thank you guys for joining me in real time. So I have a very loosely chopped onion, which is just fine, you guys. It does not need to be perfect. Great. So behind me is the ground turkey. Just gonna break it up a little bit. You know what, maybe I should move it, hold on, to the front burner. You might be able to see it a little bit. So just gonna break this up a little bit. It's starting to brown up on the one side. So I'm gonna break it up and then break it up. It's like it's in a fight. I'm gonna add some of the seasoning to the first side. Oh, Andy, you're following along too. Oh, awesome. All right, you guys, so this is the pork sausage seasoning. This is what I'm gonna do. It's about 2-ish tablespoons. I just have a little regular spoon here. I'm gonna take 1 spoonful and kind of sprinkle it over the meat that's browning. And then I'm gonna just let this cook for a couple minutes. And then I'll add the second spoonful of the seasoning. So why do I like this so much? So basically what we get here is we get the taste of a breakfast sausage without all the added fat, right? So we have a nice lean turkey and we're adding the sausage seasoning. It's amazing. I also made turkey patties with this before. It's really, really great. Couple other things to think about, you guys. Depending on the size of pans you have, you could be cooking down your onions and mushrooms in a separate pan right now if you wanted to. I'm just gonna load them all in here together, okay? So now that I've mixed the 1 spoonful of sausage seasoning, I'm gonna put in the other one. Again, those of you who are using like a pre-cooked packaged chicken or turkey sausage, all you would need to do is just kind of chop it up into pieces. You could chop it into little discs or you could chop it into little cubes and then brown it with your onions, mushrooms, and spinach. James, that sounds yummy. New ideas to try. Yes, great. All right, so let's just whip this up a little bit more. And depending on how lean your turkey meat is, you guys, this could also be ground chicken if you wanted to do that. And of course, it could be ground pork if you wanted that. So what I'm gonna do, because this is a pretty lean, I'm not gonna need to drain it or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the other things to it. So we've got our onion that's chopped. We're gonna go ahead and, hold on, let me see what that question is. Lindsay Poe, hey, I'm just chiming in, love your shows. Thank you. I thought it said love your shoes, which is hilarious because you can't see them, but I'm gonna show you guys, just like Melissa McCarthy on SNL, I'm gonna show you my shoes. I have these waitressing clogs from years ago, and chefs wear them at restaurants, so I wear them during my cooking show. Duh. How long do the potatoes have to go in for? I joined a tad late. Good question, Annie. Until they start curling up on the edges. Ours have been in for about 7 minutes, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take the onion, throw it in. And again, I'm not draining the meat. It's all gonna kind of cook itself together. Mushrooms. So you can buy these pre-sliced. I went ahead and sliced these ahead of time because I couldn't find the pre-sliced ones at the store today. And I told you guys to buy the pre-sliced ones, so I just went ahead and sliced them before we were live. All right, so I'm gonna flip this stuff around. Now, I haven't added any oil or anything to this, you guys, so I'm gonna drizzle like the smallest bit of, well, let me show you first. So here's my pan. It's going, right? That's the ground turkey with the sausage seasoning, mushrooms, and onions. I have it on a pretty high heat just to get this going. And then you could totally add olive oil to this. Any oil you have. I included in my recipe some ghee, so we're gonna do that now. Let me check in. Love your shoes too. Oh my God, thank you. Great. Okay, so I have the ghee, right? I use this a lot. This is clarified butter, which basically means the dairy was taken out of it. You could totally use regular butter. I think this adds a richness to it that's really, really delicious. I have just a little bit left, so I'm gonna use a good amount of this. I'm gonna put it right in the bottom of my pan. Just gonna pour that stuff in. Again, this is like not a ton of calories or fat because it's going in a whole dish. It's gonna add some really deep, rich flavors to this cooked down meat and mushrooms and onions. And I just want to flip this a little bit more so that things start to get browned a little bit more, and then we'll go to the next step. I see some people chiming in. Let me see here. What do we got? Maybe this is a good time to take a sip of wine. Judith McKinney joining in after my piano. Yay! Shayna, this is the best. Thank you. Hi. Hi, Dad. My dad is with my mom and my sister. He's probably not cooking. I think he's just hanging out. My son and I are having a great time. Thank you, Jessica. All right, you guys. So, delicious. Okay, let's check on, I'm going to check on my potatoes. If you guys put them in with me, you can check too. They're not done. They need to cook some longer. They're going to like be curled up on the edges. So while that's cooking, we're just 15 minutes in. And like I said, I'm slightly paranoid because I read an article that said when you go live on Facebook from your public figure page, you can only go for 30 minutes. So I'm paranoid that I'm going to run out of time. Hopefully I won't. Okay, let's go to the egg step. I got a dozen eggs. I'm using the whole eggs. If for whatever reason you want to do less of the yolks and more of the egg whites, that's fine. I do have organic jumbo eggs. They're a little pricier to go organic. These were $5.29, which isn't that bad actually, in my local grocery store. But you know, this is a pretty inexpensive dish. I think earlier I mentioned, aside from the seasoning, you guys, which I bought in bulk, and I've had it for like 4 months now. It was $10 on Amazon. So aside from that, we'll add it though. Aside from that, I spent $20 for everything. And this is going to cut up for me 8 pieces. So what is that? 20 divided by 8. Somebody do the math. It's like $3 a pop. You can't buy breakfast, and it's not going to taste as good as this. Okay, so we're going to crack some eggs. Here we go. Let me move my bowl. I'm just going to crack. I've got a bowl over here for trash that I'm just going to keep adding to because it's quicker. We're cooking behind us. We've got the onions, the spinach, the ground turkey. Oops, a shell. In the oven, we've got our sweet potato crust going. Who else is joining? Joseph Hassan. Hello. Joseph Hassan, you are late. How are you going to catch up now, Joseph? I'm just kidding. All right, you guys. So we're just going to crack these bad boys up, and we're going to add some seasoning to the eggs. Some other things to talk about. You could totally make this without the crust. Smells so good. I've made this before without sweet potatoes on a crust. Like, I didn't have any, I needed something. You could totally change it up. I've made this with ground turkey and the sausage seasoning, and then I used a salsa verde in the pan, and I cooked down bell peppers. If you like beans, you could add some black beans, and you could make like a Mexican potato bake. All right, so that's 1 dozen eggs. This is going right into the recycling bin here. Let me just rinse my hands. Let's check on this saute pan. All right, I'm cooking down really well over here. I'm curious how you guys are doing. And I'm gonna take a peek at the potatoes. We're like nailing it, you guys. Great, okay. And Daryl, what does your apron say? It's probably backwards. It says #CookWithSteph. It's in a little bit of a script font. One of my health coaching clients and dear friend, Deb Cunningham, who lives in Connecticut, in East Hampton, Connecticut, right, Deb? She made it for me for Christmas. Isn't it so cute? Okay, dozen eggs. I'm gonna whisk these bad boys together. You could use a fork too, nothing special. We just wanna break up the yolks. It's getting hot in my kitchen. Okay. I don't add any milk or anything to this. Whisked up. Great. Joseph, why sweet potatoes, which are so delicious, cooked passion? Sweet potatoes, good question. Sweet potatoes are a high energy carbohydrate. They take longer to break down. They also, because of the sweetness, they, however you want to look at it, they encourage satiation and discourage sugar spikes. So they take longer, it takes longer for you to get hungry again. They keep you fuller faster. I have totally made this before with regular potatoes, if you're interested in that. For my nieces and nephews ones, I put a regular Idaho potato crust and then did a ham and cheese and egg bake. It was great. Okay. Oh, my aunt is introducing me to somebody. That's so sweet. Okay, salt and pepper. Here we go. I'm going to do a couple passes of salt and pepper. We're putting the seasoning right in the eggs, you guys. Right in there. Salt, pepper, my favorite, crushed red pepper. Crushed red pepper adds a little bit of a spike. So just shake it in there. I always kind of laugh, these red pepper flakes, the little shaker holes are like almost the size of the flakes, so it takes forever. Okay, I'm gonna whisk that in. Great. I'm gonna put in goat cheese. If you don't want dairy, don't put in cheese. If you don't like goat cheese, you could put in feta. You could put in Parmesan. You could put in cheddar, whatever. When I was doing the Whole30, I put in no cheese and it was delicious. But I want some cheese because it's been a while. So I'm putting in goat cheese. Boom. Right to recycling. I'm gonna whisk in the goat cheese. So here we have, what if I drop this right now? I would be so ticked off. Okay, that's all ready to go. I am cooking with gas back here, you guys. I think we're ready to add the spinach. So, let's just take one more peek here. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna show you one of these pans. Mine are almost done. So if you guys wanna see what they look like, they're almost there. I'm gonna leave them in for a few more minutes. Let me grab my other hot pad. Good, can you see how they're kind of curling up? That's what we want, okay? But I'm going to leave them in there for just a couple more minutes while we finish this step. Turning that down. Okay, so we need to add spinach. Who asked me what? Steph, friends from Ashland joining in. Hey, friends from Ashland. I love Ashland. And Justin, Bell, how many calories in a serving? Is this in New York City? This is my apartment in New York City. Hello, Joanna. Calorie count, I don't have exact for you right now off the top of my head, but I did count this out before. I'm going to butcher the number. It's in the 300 calorie ballpark, 25 calorie protein, a little bit of carbohydrates. I have it written down somewhere on a different, on an old blog post. I'll post it for you later. Okay, wilting in the spinach, you guys. I'm going to grab my tongs. My tongs. Okay, so we're just going to grab spinach. I'm going to put a big bunch right on top here. We're putting in the whole kit and caboodle. While that wilts down, we're going to take out the potatoes. We have 8 minutes if I actually get cut off of my Facebook profile, you guys. I think we're going to do it. Okay. One. Here's the other one. This one has a few of the potatoes on the edge. All right. Actually, no, I'm going to put these to the side for now. I wish you guys could see how I like makeshift my apartment kitchen into this little studio. I did post a picture earlier. My iPhone is on a little mini tripod on top of my extra cooking block, or cooking cutting board on top of a ladder. Okay, so we're wilting in spinach, you guys. That's what is happening. Sweet potato crust, mine is out of the oven. Wilting in the spinach. Eggs are ready to go. Oven stays on so we can put the bake back in. I've got a little bit more spinach to drop in there. Again, done, right to recycling. Boom. Wilt that in. Now ideally we get this cooked down and let it sit just off the heat for a couple minutes. So we'll hopefully be able to do that. Anybody else asking me things? Deborah Cunningham, love this recipe, I know. We've made it together. Who's this? Jessica, have you done anything with the mushrooms yet? I don't want to miss it. They're in the pan. They were in the pan with the onions. They're cooked in here, Jessica. I did it pretty quickly. I dumped the cut onions and the chopped mushrooms in with the ground meat. I'm so sorry if you missed that step. You could totally leave them out for now and use them for something else this week. or you could quickly fry them in, because we're almost ready to put this whole thing in the oven. So you guys, let me just show you real quick. Here we have it, right? This is the pan, ground turkey with the sausage seasoning, an entire onion, a bunch of mushrooms, and spinach. We're gonna put this to the side. Now, in here, we have, do you have any liquid from the, do you drink? I didn't, Shayna, because I had plenty of, it kind of cooked down with everything else. It just kind of all easily blends together. So I don't do that, but you totally could drain it if you need to. Cheers. All right, you guys, we're gonna throw this bad boy together. Annika, yeah, ours looks like that too. Oh, good. Okay, so we have a dozen eggs with the goat cheese, salt, pepper, and red pepper flakes in here. Now, we are going to, let me just move a few things out of the way. We're gonna add this to the eggs, stir it quickly, because the heat of this could technically start like kind of cooking the eggs. It's not that big of a deal, but take your time because it will kind of splash. Slowly add in the ground turkey, the mushrooms, and the onions. Put this to the side. You can use the same spatula. We're just folding it in, right? Fold in that meat mixture. And Daryl, so if you didn't have the seasoning, will it taste like shit? I just added, no, you're gonna be fine, Annie. Like I said, you could totally just add different seasonings. You could also use like a different kind of turkey or a chicken sausage. And this time, if it doesn't taste like super breakfasty, it's just gonna taste like a delicious meat casserole. I would recommend getting on Amazon and buying this stuff because it's like really, really makes a difference. But it won't taste bad. Okay. Now, you guys probably all have a 9.5 by 13 pan. I use these 2 small casserole dishes because mine broke. So you can see they kind of curled up. You don't have to do anything but pour it in. So I'm going to separate mine into 2. Here we go. I'm pouring half in, scoop, half in. I'm just gonna kind of push it around a little bit so that the meat evens out. You might even see a sweet potato start to float up, you guys. It's okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. James, Karen Thompson, no reason not to make breakfast now. I love it that you guys are sharing this with other people. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna do? This one looks like a little bit more than the other. I know I'm getting a little anal retentive here, but whatever. Okay, we're just gonna mix that up. All right, you guys, so now we put them back in the oven. So let me take one at a time. They're gonna be a little heavier. So just use both pot holders. Excuse the angle. 1 and 2, or if you have your 9 by 13, it's just 1. We have 2 minutes to spare. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna leave them in there. It is 7:28. I'm gonna leave them in until 7:45, all right? And then what you wanna do is you wanna take a dinner knife when you think it's done. Take a dinner knife, poke it right in the middle. If it comes out clean, it's done. If you feel like it's almost done and this isn't quite clean, turn the heat off on the oven and keep it in for a couple more minutes and let the residual heat of the oven finish cooking it. Here's the deal, you guys. Cook with Steph. I have a hashtag. I'm running a contest from tonight until next Sunday at noon. Post pictures on Facebook or Instagram using the hashtag Cook with Steph, all one word, and kale substitute. I use spinach actually, Aunt Judy, so you could use any green you want. Use hashtag Cook with Steph on Facebook or Instagram. Make sure you tag me so I see that you used it, and I will put your name in the hat. And next Sunday afternoon, I am picking one winner, and I'm sending you one of my favorite kitchen items. I'm gonna go because I think we're almost out of time. We did it in 30 minutes, you guys. In 15 minutes or so, this is gonna be done. Take pictures of you in your kitchen. Take pictures of you eating this on some random breakfast this week. take pictures in your cubicle at work, heating it up. I bring it all the time for lunch as well. Use the hashtag. I'm trying to spread the word. Cooking does not need to be super difficult to taste great and be healthy. And I really, really, really am passionate about this as one of the major, major tenets under the umbrella of self-care. So I'm trying to start this hashtag campaign as a way to help everybody get a little bit more comfortable in the kitchen. So hashtag Cook with Steph on Facebook, on Instagram. Tag me. I can't wait to see you guys in your kitchens. I can't wait to see how you use this. And that's it. We're in the oven for about 15 more minutes, you guys. I can't wait to see pictures. Have a great night. I'm gonna come around so I can hit the button. Bye guys, my brother. I'll be over in 5 minutes to eat. Yes, great job you guys. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening. Post those pictures, share with friends.